Hey there, vinyl community. My name's Tom. You're watching Rant District. Today I want to go over number 45-inch record, number 10 out of, I can count, 19 ultimately, of the Clash's original UK singles. You probably know by now, but in case you're brand new here, I was inspired by seeing a CD box set of the all 19 original UK singles by The Clash. It was on CD. It was a box set of CDs where it's 19 different CDs, kind of painted to look like the records, and it had all the singles on it with their B-sides and a couple of remixes. And I thought, oh, what would be even cooler than that? Get the actual vinyl 45s. So that's what I'm doing. This is record number 10, I think, out of 19. I'm doing it at a rate of one record per month, spread over 19 months. It's a kind of fun thing to do. It's not going to be, spreading it out means, the expenses spread out. Not that most of these are expensive, but I want the original single the way it was released, and I want the picture sleeve, assuming it came with one. So this one is came out in 1980. It's The Call Up by The Clash. That's the A side. The B side is Stop the World. Now, The Call Up is a song from the triple album Sandinista that came out in 1980. This song is the timing is such that it's safe to say that the whole song, do not. It's up to you not to heed the call up. Is kind of talking about in 1980. That's when the United States reinstituted the notion that all men who once they turn 18, within a month of turning 18, you have to register for the draft in case there's a draft again. It's called the Selective Service. Pretty sure you still have to register for it, and I don't think too many people think too much about it right now. But in 1980, when I was in my early teens, it was kind of a scary thing because I think the notion that you had to register for the draft sometime in the early 70s or towards the end of the Vietnam War had been stopped. That notion had been stopped. And then just here we are, and then at the time, here you are in 1980, and all of a sudden you had to register for the draft again. Now, I think, nowadays nobody really thinks anything of it because anybody who's just turning 18 now in the United States in their lifetime has not been alive when people were drafted to fight in a war that many considered unjust. In this case, the Vietnam War. That was a real... It was a horrible time, and granted, I was very, very young at the time, but, I knew that people got drafted and sent to war whether they wanted to go or not. It was just something that happened. So that notion's probably not very real to people, to people turning 18, to men turning 18, I should say, because, fuck equality, I guess. But maybe women do have to register for the draft. I'm guessing not. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. But it was, kind of scary that, again, you had to register. And so this album, this single, and then ultimately Sandinista, came out in 1980, right, shortly after or right during when the notion that you had to register for the draft was reinstated. So kind of scary. And this record also, the song The Call Up, also, it mentions 11:55 p.m. or 55 minutes after 11, and that's a reference to the Doomsday Clock, saying that we're 5 minutes from midnight. Midnight is when everything worldwide just kind of melts down, and I learned more about that in college in later years, and when I took a class on atomic history and philosophy and whatnot, and because it was relevant at the time. I feel like it's a lot less relevant now. I don't think anybody's going to lob any nukes. But and speaking of nukes, the B-side of Stop the World is not available on a studio album, on one of the Clash's regular studio albums. It's on one or two of their comps, but it was never included on a studio album. And it's, it's about nuclear war and the ramifications. I should show the vinyl. Here's the call-up where it says no draft. And this is, it's on CBS. And the B-side, Stop the World, has that, nuclear symbol on it. Now the album art is, the cover art is interesting. For the call-up, you've got, young men, some of whom are musicians. You can see them marching off to where they have to report to for military service. And then right here, I'm going to guess that's a shot of the Marines, the U.S. military Marines, being that the song starts off with, up 2, 3, 4, I am the Marine Corps. It's got the U.S. Marine Corps' cadence at the very beginning. Anyway, and so, that's kind of a powerful front side. And then the back side of it is a photo, I guess it's called The Dead Man's Shadow. And that is a photo of the steps leading to the this Sumitomo Bank, I think it's called, in Hiroshima, Japan, and these steps are about supposedly like a couple hundred yards from where the U.S. dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, ultimately pushing us towards the end of World War II. But the theory is that the dark area, the shadow, is the shadow sort of a person, because the radiation blast kind of lightened the rest of the stairs, but a person's body shielded the darker area, so the stairs did not get discolored. So it's kind of in that light, it's a pretty horrifying image, and they're trying to make a point here. On the front of the cover, there's a place you can write to, an address in New York City. It says immobilize against the draft. So clearly that's what they were talking about. And then on the flip side, it says it's got a London address for the campaign for nuclear disarmament on the back. So very, very powerful single here. Very relevant at the time. I didn't know this, the 45 at the time, but I did know the album Sandinista, which was either a great album or a horrible album, depending on your perspective. And there's elements of truth to both those perspectives, but again, that's a video for another time. But there you go. We had the call-up, backed with Stop the World on CBS from 1980. So it's 10 down, 9 more to go. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.